Hey guys, how you doing? Oh, hang on, we're way off. Yeah, if I look over there, does that... No. Hang on. Ah, there we go. Sorry, I moved my camera when I was dusting, apparently. How are we? Okay, what's going on with my screen's dimming itself? Let's not do that. Vlogmas day 3! 3! 1, 2, 3! In a row! 1, 2, 3! It's 3 Vlogmas in a row! Woohoo! Blonde row, yeah. In order to be blue, one must embrace one's inner Draco Malfoy. I'm actually quite liking it. It's gone very white at the ends. It's gone very silver. See? Very, very silver at the ends. But the roots are kind of pale. I'm not liking the yellowy. I might try and put maybe some darker toner into here to get the yellow out of the roots and see what that looks like. Because I kind of like the silver, actually. It's kind of cool. It's very shiny. Jane, Mika, Risha, Kelly Hair and Daisies. I know your name, I can't remember it. Sorry, here we go. Ina, hello. Yeah, I've never been silver. I was blonde for like 5 minutes. I don't suit blonde. And I wouldn't suit it if it was this colour all over. It would look terrible. But I kind of like silver. So maybe if I can get the roots to go kind of a shadow grey, that might be kind of cool. We'll see. If it doesn't work, we'll just... Sorry, I've got a runny eye. If it doesn't work, we'll just slap blue over the top and ta-da! A lot of hairdressers refuse to put my very dark hair in blonde. I found one that dares to put it in gold blonde. I do it myself. I appreciate that professional hairdressers have an obligation to make sure that they stay within certain bounds. They don't like doing dark hair for obvious reasons, because you can kill your hair. But seriously, I've gone from jet black, super dyed several times, home colorant, to bright red in a day. There's no reason you can't do it. It's just that, you know, they're not insured. You've only got to look at the way they mess about with their own hair to know that they actually can do it. They're not insured to be able to do yours. So, better safe than sorry. But, you know, I would rather pay £10 and mess up my own hair than pay somebody £70 to do it for me. And I very rarely like what hairdressers do anyway, so I kind of like it like this. Oh, I cut my own hair too. Of course, at the moment it looks like it because I haven't done anything with it in about 6 months, but I need to go and get my pixie cut back in, and I can't do that myself. I have to get that done properly. But my hairdresser is fabulous, and she will cut it so that it stays like it for 6 months. I would never colour my hair even at a salon, but I do cut my own hair. Really? Oh, wash in and wash out colours are lovely. Burgess, hello. Yeah, they don't like making dark-haired people blonde. Usually because it doesn't actually suit them. But also, you know, it takes a lot of commitment. Anyway. For now I'm silver. And I can't really do the roots tonight because I can't... You need daylight. I need daylight to fix this. Not fix it. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's okay. Look how shiny it is though. Look how shiny. Oh. Yeah, I need to do this in daylight. I can't mess about with it in artificial light. It'll come out orange or something. Anyway, I thought I would answer a frequently asked question today, which is something along the lines of, what are your journaling essentials? What do you like to carry with you? How do you carry it about? Do you have a little case that you carry from room to room with you? Etc, etc, etc. Red hair goes orange, yeah. I know. This is hence the yellow. It's really hard to get red hair to go white, which is why I'm quite liking this bit, because I didn't know I could do this with my hair, because I'm a natural red. But I've never had this much shine in my hair, because my hair's curly and red. It's never shiny. But look, so shiny. So shiny. Woo. Anyway, Delphonics utility pouches are amazing for journal supplies. Yeah, I don't like that sort of stuff. I don't do that because, one, I'm obtuse and I don't want everything. I don't want what everybody else has got. Hey, Blythe. So if everybody else and the world and his wife and their dog is buying a Delphonics pouch, I won't buy one on principle, because I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm not a bandwagon jumper. Although I have bandwagoned with the bullet journal book, but the bullet journal book is excellent, so you know, you can't deny when something's really, really good and worth it. But also, I don't like enclosed storage. All my storage, absolutely everything, is clear. Especially now I've redone all my shelves, which I suppose I could tidy them up and actually show them when I do my studio thing. In fact, I might do my desk separate so you can see my filming setup, because I get asked about that a lot as well. I'm trying to make Vlogmas a little bit more interesting, so that it's just about the studio and what I do and how I do it, and answering questions that people ask a lot, so that the next time people ask me the same question, I can just go, hey, actually, I did a video about this recently, here you go. And then I don't have to type in Instagram's DMs on my really tiny phone with my really bad eyesight and my big chubby gnome fingers. I do not like enclosed storage. Everything I have is either like this, so it's a big enclosed box with a clear lid, or it's totally clear. Everything. My shelves are clear. Everything is clear. Because for me, out of sight is out of mind. If I can't see it, can't use it. The only exception is that stuff up there, because that stuff is all stuff that I would use specifically for something. So for instance, one of those boxes has all my rubber stamping supplies. One of those boxes has all my oil paints. One of those boxes has all my watercolour and gouache refills. Hey, Brenda. One of those boxes has all of my journaling cards, which I go through every month and I pull out the ones I think I want to use according to what's happening this month, that month. So I've gone through and pulled out all my Christmas ones, you know. So if I know I'm going to go and use that specific thing, I can have it in a place where I know where it is, and it can be in enclosed storage. And with this, see, this is always on camera, so when I go, where the hell did I put my, oh, it's there. You know, all my sketchbooks and stuff are up there. But anything else is all down here or in my carry cases. Now I have 3 carry cases. I have a bucket case, which is kind of like, you know, the cleaning supply cases, but it's clear acrylic. And in there I've got my pen sets. So I've got all my Posca markers, all my Sharpies, all my Ecoline brush pens, all of my big fat brush markers, all those kind of stuff that I use all the time. Everything else is up here, and I swap out what I'm using. So if I feel like using the blonde makes me look younger, I was worried it would make me look a bit older actually, but I think it's alright as long as it's silver, not grey. I swap out what I'm using, so if I don't feel like using Ecoline brush pens that month, I'll swap them out for maybe my watercolour aqua markers, or my Crayola markers, or my alcohol markers, or my colour pencils, or whatever. So that is my general carry about for whatever it is I'm in the mood for using at the moment. I also have a clear, probably should have shown you these, shouldn't I? I also have a clear toiletry bag, which is soft plastic, which I use. It's got a big section in the middle, it's got a pocket on the front, it's got 2 small pockets on the other side, and I use that for my papers. So whatever papers and ephemera and collage bits and whatever I'm using at the moment goes in there. I recently took out all my Halloween stuff and swapped it for Christmas and some wintry things and all that kind of theme. After Christmas I'll change it again for something a bit more spring-like, you know, and I just change it out according to what I want to use at the time, and everything else is in storage back there. This is what I carry around with me. This is my not a caboodle. Now I've seen a few people going a bit crazy for caboodles all over the place. I blame Miss Vicky B for this. She started it. And then everybody's got one. This is not a caboodle. It's not the brand, and it's not even called a caboodle, but it's a similar idea. This is actually a florist's case. That's what they're marketed as here. They're sold as florist cases because the idea is you put your flowers in the bottom and you put your little bits and pieces in the top, and it's just big enough to take your stuff to college to do your flower arranging. That's why they call them a florist case. You can get ones that are art cases as well, and I've had those before. But the difference between an art case and a florist case, the art cases will normally have 2 tiers at the top, and you pull it out and it's like a toolbox, like a man's toolbox, so it kind of cantilevers. And the problem I have always had, is that you put the heavy stuff in the bottom to make sure that when you cantilever it out, it's weighty enough to not tip over backwards, and then you take the stuff out at the bottom because you want to use it and everything falls over, and I get so mad. So I don't have that, I have this. It's a similar thing, you know, nice sturdy little handle, see-through obviously. It's got red flowers on because the only other option was daisies. It's got a double clip, just like the caboodles. I think this is almost exactly the same clip. I've got a slightly bigger one that's exactly the same design, same layout, everything. It's got an extra section in here, and this is a little bit bigger. And that's got 2 clips on the front, so like one there and one there. But it's quite a long case, so it needs it. This has just got a nice little case, and it's, well, I can show you actually, because my journal, hold that thought. My journal is standard moleskin size. So you can see there, it's pretty much almost identical size. Whoops! Don't do that. I have done that a few times. I don't do it normally, but I have done that a couple of times lately. I need to pay more attention. I usually do it when I'm distracted, and I'm distracted because I'm talking. Chat amongst yourselves a second while I put this back in. See, the good thing is that top bit doesn't come out unless I pull it. So, oh, that wasn't in there. That's why it doesn't fit. There we go. Ta-da! It had to happen. Never work with children or animals. There we go. So, right, it's done up this time. Yeah, the base is almost exactly the same size as my large moleskin. Backwards, it's almost identical size to my large moleskin. Sideways, it's about the same width and about 2/3 of the height. Okay? So, it's quite good because it means I can put my moleskin on top of it and it doesn't, I don't know, I like the fact that my moleskin is the same size as this. It's not a moleskin, I don't know why I'm calling it a moleskin, but you know what I mean. Lots of red washi tape. Well, yeah, it's Christmas, isn't it? You have a pea green Stanley metal lunchbox, but it's really ugly. Why don't you spray paint it? I've seen them in the sewing section at Dunelm. Yeah, you can get ones in Dunelm, actually, that have cantilevers that open that way. and they're the sewing boxes. So they have two little, they almost open like a jewellery box. So they've got two on either side. But I know me, I would knock that over. This is nice and self-contained, and that's what I like about it. As you can see, I use mine practically as well as carrying all my crap. So I have my glasses, I have my phone, and I have my rings, because I keep losing my rings when I put them away places and I don't know where I've put them. So I shove them in here and then I know where they are. You see? It's very, very clever. Very clever. So this top piece literally just lifts out. And it only fits in one way because of the clasp. So if you try and put it in the other way, it literally will not go in. It doesn't fit. It only fits in this way. So in the top piece, I've got the stuff that, you know, I'm sitting journaling, I've drawn something, or I want to draw something, oh, I need a pencil. Oh, there's my short pencil, that's what the one was in there we go. I need a pencil, oh, there we go. Oh, I need to erase something, there we go. Where's my white out? I've got a little cute little white out thing, a little white out mouse that lives in there. So this is all stuff that I use all the time when I'm journaling. Washi tapes, I'm doing red and white this year with my washi tapes. I did blue and brown last year and I got a bit bored with it. I like red. I've got my white pen for when I want to touch things up. It was there before it fell out. Oh, okay. It must have fallen on the floor then. It was, I definitely have one. I just don't know where it is now. It might be underneath. Yeah, I've usually got a little white out thing in there. I've got my white pen, obviously. When I'm drawing, I draw in pencil, or I draw in colour pencil, so I've got my double-ended pencil in here. And so this is a stump, like a tortillon. I can't use the paper stumps, it sets my teeth on edge. Sets my teeth on edge just thinking about them, actually. This is a sponge one that's actually for pastel, but I use it for paper. And then I've got my small ruler. On this side, I've got, this is where I keep things like journaling cards and sticky notes, and I've got my little planner stickers, Courtney's date stickers, any photos that I want to add to my journal, obviously bigger photos. I can't fit bigger photos in here, but most of my photos I print either 2x3 or I print 2 to a 6x4. So or 4 to a 6x4. So they usually fit in here once I've cut them up, but anything that doesn't fit in here I just put in the secretary pocket of my journal. I've got, you know, various different bits and pieces, printouts that I want to use, lists that I want to use, a journal card I've pre-made that I want. I've got my Poppy, Mr. Scooby. So that'll go in my journal at some point. I've got an old credit card, plastic, I don't even know what this is, just an old Quick and Pick card that I use for when I stick stuff down. Always get the air out, and I always do it with washi tape as well, otherwise it comes up. Comes unstuck. And I'm using, these are really, oh, I didn't notice that. That one's blue and that one's black. I didn't notice that. Ooh. So I've got polar bears. I've got a polar bear with a baby polar bear as well. And a penguin with a baby penguin, and then a blue penguin. I didn't notice that. I'm using these, you'll see these tomorrow in my bullet journal. I actually use these for my Christmas Chronicles planning stuff, because it's set up so that you have 3 things to do every day. And I'm just writing my 3 things that I need to do so that it's in my bullet journal and I can do it that day or get it out of the way, or I can flip back and remember that it's there or whatever. Tried so many different types of storage and spent a small fortune and found I love a clear, very cheap pencil cases. Yeah, me too. I buy the these are very good. These makeup cases, the triangular makeup cases, because they come with 2 storage pouches, one large and one small. So you get a large pencil case and a small pencil case, and then you get this, which is great for storing things like paints and stuff in. I buy a lot of these, and they're cheap. They're like £1 for a set, so you know it's no trouble if it splits. You just can get yourself another one. So yeah, that's in there, and then I've got my sharpener, my eraser, my whiteout should be in there. I've got a spare clip, and then this is just odds and bits of tiny stickers and little doggy things and all sorts of stuff. It's mostly dogs. Teacups, things like that. Just stuff that I got a little bit of it, and I think, oh, I'll just chuck it in there. If it fits in there, it goes in there. And then, of course, my phone. I usually chuck my phone in there so that I know where on earth it is, because we all know what phones are like. And because I'm always taking photos of my stuff as I'm going, I do tend to have my phone with me a lot, and I'm either listening to podcasts with it or I'm using it for Instagram. So I've nearly always got my phone on me. Underneath we have a big bucket. Now, I'm not a raker. I'm not somebody who loves dipping their hand in and seeing what comes out. I like to be able to put my hand on what I want straight away. Oh, it is, look, it went down there. It disappeared down the side there, look. How did it get down there? There's my little... Look, he's a little mouse. Isn't it cute? It's got little ears and everything. Come on, that's cute. He sits in there, and then my... That goes in there. Okay. So, hey Susan! Long time no see. Hey Abby. So, yeah, I'm not a shove your hand in the pockets and rummage about for what you want. This is one of the reasons I don't like the Delphonics pouches, and one of the reasons I like clear pouches or clear storage. I like to be able to see what I want and get it. It's just me. That's just the way I am. I don't want to be rummaging about for stuff. It drives me insane. So I've just got this. This is my Prismacolor pencils. Now, the ones on the top are too long to fit in the box properly. But as you can see, because they're on the top, I've been using them. And because I like a really, 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 really sharp point on my pencils, I sharpen them a lot. So actually, they're getting sharpened down to the point where they're going to fit in the box better. And then that will be fine. But down here at the bottom, I mean, some of my pencils are so tiny. These are the ones I use all the time, you see. These are the colours I use all the time. You can tell I'm a portrait girl. Portraits and animals, it's all natural shades and skin tones. I very rarely use the brighter colours. But I'm trying to use up some of these, because otherwise I'm going to be left with like a quarter of a set that I've never used. So I'm trying to use some of these. Maybe I'll draw some blue girls or something. So all of my Prismacolors in there, and that literally just sits on there like that. And I can take it out. And the clever part about this is that this is exactly the right size, that I can put it under the lid if I'm not going to use my pencils, and I can put that in there. I'm so clever, it's scary. I'm kidding. So in here is the stuff that I would use if I'm doing art, if I'm painting or drawing or whatever. Pencils I tend to specifically colour with, and I specifically use those just pencils. So I'll quite often just pull out my pencils and then close everything else up. But this is all stuff that I dip into when I need it. So I've got my Expressionist Craypa oil pastels. I love these things. They're amazing. They are super, super soft. They don't smell nasty. They don't feel weird. They're just really lovely for doing all sorts of smooshy weirdness. And I use them a lot with my acrylics, but I also like them for mixed media stuff. I'll take that off my finger before it gets everywhere. Orange streaks everywhere. I'll be wondering where it came from. So yeah, if you're after a good smooshy cheap set of oil pastels, highly recommend these. They actually come in a big box. I upgraded to a big box because this is my second box of 12. I momentarily lost this. It disappeared under the sofa. And I ended up buying a big box of 50 odd. And it was so worth it because it has silver and gold. If you only had it for that. But it was like £17 for the full set, and this is like £7. So it's super cheap. It's not like it's expensive or anything. Nail file, because look at my nails. Obviously I need a nail file. I've got my tin of watercolour. Now, a lot of people say, oh, these tins are so expensive, they're so hard to get hold of. Guys, I got mine on eBay for £3. They're not hard to get hold of. They're not expensive. I don't know why everybody has such trouble finding them. Maybe it's because you're all looking when you're buying watercolours, because you all buy, a lot of you buy the decent watercolours now. Finally. People are looking at, oh, well, I'm on Daniel Smith, I might as well look at their palettes. You know, you don't need a designer palette just because you've got... Spend the money on your watercolours. Spend the money on your watercolours and just get a cheap palette. Get 3 of them. It'll cost you a whopping £12. And then you've got backups and spares and extra colours and all sorts of stuff. Get a big one. Anyway, yeah, this is my palette. The colours that are very, very, very well used are all Holbein. I use Holbein watercolours. I just like them. No particular reason, I just like them. And they were cheap. They're artist quality though. And then the ones that are not very well used, these are Cotman colours, artist grade, and I bought them individually, but I bought specifically colours that I'm too lazy to mix, or that I couldn't mix. I really love their purple. I mean, look at that purple, it's beautiful. And I'm too lazy to mix it, so I specifically bought the colour that I wanted. I've got a couple of greens that I use a lot. You know, that's it. As you can see, I don't clean my palette, I just reuse the colours. It's got a handy little thingy underneath it as well, which is quite useful when you're urban sketching, because you can hold it with the ring and it doesn't disappear off your, or slide off your hand when it's hot. I've also got obviously a glue stick. Oh, I've got 2 glue sticks in here. Okay, maybe that glue stick wasn't supposed to be in there. Glue stick, I use Pritt Stick. Some post-it notes, post-it flags. I use these when I'm reading, or when I'm using a textbook, or if I have a page in my journal where I think, oh, I really need to be able to get back to that. Like, for instance, I've got a calendar section in my journal here, so I've got a flag on it just to be able to get to it quickly. So I've always got some page flags with me, and I just change the colour regularly. I've got 2 brushes. These are Jackson Art brushes. Jackson's Art does really nice brushes, very cheap, and if you've never ordered with them and you're in the UK, there is a discount code down in my description. I don't get anything from it. It's just a discount code that gets you, I think, 10% off if you've never purchased from them before. I've got a size 10 round travel brush. This is my go-to. I love this brush. I would like to find maybe a number 6. And this one is a square. Oh, is it a 1 or a 2? I can't remember. I think it's a 1. But it's a filbert, a squoval, as they call it. So I'd like a 6. Oh, this is a 9. I'd like a 6, which would be somewhere in the middle, because this is just a little bit too big and wet for doing smaller areas, but this is just a little bit too small and dry for doing decent size stuff. You know what I mean. Anyway, I don't have any of the fancy brushes or anything, not because I don't want them or I can't afford them or whatever. I absolutely could, but I'm not going to spend that kind of money on a brush that I will lose. We all know how I lose stuff. We all know how bad I am at losing everything. I would rather spend £7 or £8 on a brush that I can replace anytime I want than get expensive stuff. I mean, I don't know how Courtney actually still has all her... She's got a whole beautiful set of gold brushes and they're all lovely and they're engraved and they're in a lovely pocket and everything, and I'm like, I'd have that like 5 minutes and I'd be missing at least 2 and one of them wouldn't have a lid. I don't know how she manages to keep everything together. I really don't. I'm not that kind of person. I'm far too scatty to have stuff. This is why we can't have nice things, basically. I'm in Canada and I've ordered from them before, had excellent experiences shopping with them. Yeah, they're great, Jacksons. I use Jacksons a lot. The only time I don't use Jacksons is if I actually physically go up to Manchester to go to Fred's. Fred Aldous is fantastic. It's like a mecca for artists. But Jacksons, if you want something and you need it the next day, boom, it's there. And if you need it like if I ordered something now, it wouldn't arrive till maybe Wednesday afternoon. But they're on Amazon too, so if I ordered it on Amazon, it'd be here tomorrow because I've got Amazon Prime. They're really, really, really good. This is all my bits and pieces that I draw with. So I do have a water brush. It's actually empty. It's usually got water in it. I don't actually use this for painting very much. I mostly use it for wetting my colours. But if I'm going out and about, I've usually got a water spray as well. I've got a little baby one like this, but it's only that big. And that fits in here as well, and I just take a few bits that I didn't need out. I've got the obligatory ballpoint pens in a variety of widths and sizes. My black pen isn't in here. Oh, I used it, it's on the desk. So I've got the chunky yellow and orange. These are Bics, all of these are Bics. I've got the fine blue and black. I've got the chunky fashion colours and regular colours, so you've got 4 colours on all of those. Black, red, dark blue, dark green, turquoise, lime green, purple and pink. And I also usually have a regular black, because the black in here is a 1.6. And I like to use the 0.7, which is this one, just the regular Bic crystal. This is what I draw with. In fact, I'm going to chuck that one in because that one's a new one, and I think the one I've got on my desk is almost empty, so I'll put that in. For fine lining, I use a 0.3, excuse me, uni pin fine liner. Love these things. All right, Maddie, jolly good. Waterproof, fade-proof, pigment ink, etc., etc. Very like microns, but the tips are more hard-wearing. So if you struggle with keeping the tips on your microns good, I find they go flat. I don't like that. These are very good, and you can pull the tip out and turn it round like you can with the Faber-Castells, so you get twice as much mileage from it. I've never had a nib go before the ink ran out, which is good. I would like to try the Copic one, but I'd like a fine liner that's refillable. Come on, people. Let's have a fine liner that's refillable. Ideally with a metal end that's not as expensive as a Rotring. Is that too much to ask? I don't think so. But yeah, that's what I use if I'm doing drawing for somebody else, or you know, anything like that. Well, you don't really need to turn the nib round, to be honest, because you'd have to be pretty brutal with these to make them wear down. But if you do find, like I've accidentally gone over oil pastel with this nib. You can't use these over oil pastel. It does not work. That's why I like my ballpoints. Ballpoints are right over anything. If you do get like a dead spot where you've gone over oil pastel, or you've got some waterproof something or other, like gel medium or something on it, yeah, just get a really fine pair of tweezers, pull the end out, turn it around, stick it back in, and you've got a new end. I've also got the Pentel brush pen. Love this thing. I don't draw with it very much, but I love it for lettering, and I love it for colouring in large expanses of black where I want it to be waterproof. Because a 0.8 fine liner just doesn't cut it. I'm too impatient for that. If I want a big expanse of stuff black, I want it done now. So this is the equivalent of a Sharpie for me, basically. I have a black... I've actually got the Faber-Castell, which I use for drawing, because it's harder than the Prismacolor. I used to use the Prismacolor, and I love the Prismacolor because it's waterproof. A lot of the darker colour pencils are not. This is the 199 black. But you can get a super fine hard tip on this, like a really hard point, and because it's a very hard pencil, the point stays really, really well. It should have a plastic end on it like this, but I seem to have mislaid that, which is probably why it's not very sharp. This is a Prismacolor Colorays, again, super sharp point. I love my super sharp points. I've got one of the Akashura Sai brush pens in the flesh tone. I use this as a base colour for my faces when I do pencil faces. It just takes the whiteness of the paper away to be able to put colour over the front, over the top. The rest of my set is up there, and I use it at my desk, but this one I just use for colouring faces, so I carry it with me. Random Tri-Plus markers are nearly always in here. Random Papermate flares are nearly always in here. I'll usually have a random gel pen or two. I've got a silver one at the moment because I was using it earlier because it's Christmas, yay! So all the sparkly gel pens have come out. I'll usually have a mild liner or two, and sometimes like a Sharpie, like the fine Sharpies, the writing Sharpies, these ones. I love these. But I don't carry whole sets of stuff. I just, I gravitate towards different things. So at the moment I'm really loving this dark green for outlining stuff. So because I'm using it a lot, it's in my thing. As soon as I reach in and I go, I haven't used that in ages, why am I carrying that around? I'll put it back in the set. Silver gel pen. I've got this is the Pentel Hybrid Technica 04. I've got a complete set of these, thanks to Amber. My 04 is nearly empty. Why? Companies, why do you make refillable pens and then the refills are more expensive than it is to buy a new pen? Where's the logic? Where? My inner Aquarian, not so inner Aquarian, the Aquarian in me is going, the humanity. It's a refillable pen. The refills, you should be able to buy like 3 refills for the price of a new pen, right? No, you can buy 3 new pens for the price of a refill. And you have to wait for 4 weeks for it to come from China. But no, this is just my favourite writing pen if my fountain pen stops working. Have you tried the Muji 0.38? If so, what do you think of them? No, I haven't, because I've heard that they're not waterproof, and I do not like stuff that is not waterproof. I don't use black pens that are not waterproof. This is water resistant, but I don't use it for drawing, I only use it for writing. But even if you write with this and then let it dry, even if you soaked the paper, some of the ink would come out, but you'd still see the writing. But I only ever use waterproof ink. I never use anything else. So I won't even buy something just to try it if it's not waterproof. Safety scissors. I don't actually like these scissors. I hate them because they're kids' scissors. And even though I've got little gnome hands, they're actually not big enough for my gnome hands. I've got a lovely pair of Friskers, but my Friskers are super pointy. These are nice and round, and they actually have a plastic thing that should be on there. That's probably on my desk over there. It just means that if I go anywhere, I just feel safer if I'm taking this anywhere. You know, just in case a child sticks their hand in there or anything else, or I stick my hand in there. You know, it's better to have safety scissors. But I very rarely use them, I have to admit. They're just in there because I've always got a pair of scissors with me then, and I don't have to carry my sharp scissors about. My pencil of choice for sketching is, this should be in the top actually, is my 0.3 Pentel mechanical pencil. Again, a whopping £1.20 on eBay. I love this pencil, it's really good. It's got an eraser on the end, and you can buy refills for them. And as your eraser gets smaller, you can pull it out and you can change the, like it's got a little case here. Whoops, I've just pulled all the pencil leads out. It's got a little case here, and you can pull it out and then tighten the case. And then you've got more eraser. There's not many things do that. Okay, let's try that again. Let's put our leads back in. Oh, there's got to be a third thing, hasn't there? I've thrown everything across the desk. I've emptied all the leads out of my pencil. What's the next thing going to be? I don't have coffee over here, so I can't spill that. That's a good thing. AZ, what's that? Arizona. I really struggle with water brushes. I will definitely order one of those number 9s. Oh, I love this. I love this. Absolutely love it. Oh, drop the iPad. Oh, okay. Usually when I have random things like that, it's my dog, because she's shoved her nose on something. Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful brush. They do several of them in the gold Taklon, and they also do white ones. I like the gold Taklon, but I want to get some more sizes of them. Yeah, Pentel 0.3, only ever use a 0.3 mechanical pencil. If I want thicker lead, I just use an ordinary pencil. My pencil of choice, I didn't say, I don't think. My pencil of choice is Dixon Ticonderoga. Dixon Ticonderoga. There we go. HB number 2. Standard American school pencil, apparently, but it's better than any of the ones we've got. All our pencils seem to have gritty bits in. And I don't like that. I don't like when a pencil has gritty bits in. These are very smooth leads, and they give very even lines, and I like that. That's why I like them. They're very good quality pencils for the cost of them. And last but not least, I have my 2 Posca brush pens. I love these things. Again, I've got a red and a white in here at the moment. I would like to get a black, a blue, a dark blue, and possibly the silver and gold. I don't know if I can justify the silver and gold, because I do have the Sharpies in silver, gold and chrome. Bronze, silver, gold and bronze. So maybe I'll replace them with the Poscas when my Sharpies run out. But the thing I love about these is that, whereas with the others you have to press down the nib, and after a while when you press down the nib all the ink comes out. Everybody knows this. These come with this little thing, and you press it down, and you have to keep pressing it down until this gets wet. And if this dries out, you just rinse it in water, and then you press it down again until the ink flows. That I really like. So yeah, I've got my red and the white in those at the moment. The white is super opaque. I really like it, but you do have to sometimes do 2 go-overs. But it's good for corrections. It's way better than Tipp-Ex. So there we go. That's my set in my Caboodle box. My art pastels go in there, and that goes in there. My slightly longer pens fit underneath that. Somehow I've got more space than I had in here before. Don't know how I've done that. Oh, because that should be up there a bit. There we go. Pencils go on top. That goes in there. We drop everything on the floor because I do that all the time. I'm so bloody clumsy, it's ridiculous. And then we have everything all together. Ta-da! That's pretty much it. That's all I can tell you. That's my Not a Caboodle box. This is not my essentials for journaling. This is the stuff that I use all the time. And by all the time, I mean I will regularly go back. So I use colour pencils a lot in my artwork, but in my journal I nearly always use my Prismacolors. I nearly always draw in ballpoint pen. I very often just draw in graphite. You know, I love these Holbein watercolours and never carry anything else. So this is the stuff that if I was stranded on a desert island and I could only take this little box, as long as I had this little box and my journal, I'd be happy. But my journal essentials, are my journal and a Bic ballpoint pen. That's my essentials. I don't need anything else. Well, no, glue stick. I'm going to say glue stick. A ballpoint pen, my journal, and a glue stick. And that's it. That's all I need. I'll settle for a roll of washi tape. A glue stick's easier. That's all I need. Nope, don't need watercolour. Don't need any of the rest of it. I can work perfectly happy in just ballpoint pen. That's my journaling essentials. An orange Bic, no, a black one. I use the orange Bics for drawing because I can get really fine detail because they're a 0.3. Sorry, 0.38. So the orange Bics are 0.38. The clear ones are 0.7. And the ones with a black one, like this one, so that has a black barrel. The black ones with a black barrel are 1.6. Well, they are crystal Bics, they're just thinner. That's all. 0.3, 1, and then, if I've got my, hang on, let me see if I've got a 1.6 over here to show you the difference. Probably not. Oh, that one's empty. Oh, yes I do. There we go. There's the smoky barrel. You can't really tell on camera, I don't think, but... Oh. There you go. So the clear crystal barrel is the regular crystal Bic. The black 1.6 is the smoky barrel, and that's good for colouring in or doing darker areas. And the crystal Bic orange is the fine one. Does the orange Bic work on watercolour? It's the same ink. There's no difference in these except the size of the ball on the end and the size of the barrel. See? Look. Super big, fat and chunky. Regular, fine. It's exactly the same. It's even exactly the same body, it's just a different colour. They even have the same lids. Same ink, everything. Oil-based ink, works over everything. So yeah, I don't even know which lid goes on which, but I just threw them back on there and they all fit. There's no difference. They're all the same pen. They've just got different ball size on the end. So obviously the 1.6 is better for if you've got to colour in a whole section in black. It's better to use this one. Duh. And if you want a really fine line, you use that one. But most of the time I can do everything I need with this. And the ones in here, these are the 1.6 as well. Which is why I like them for colouring. So I do a lot of my cross-hatching with these. So I'll do my sketching with this. I'll do fine details with this, but I'll do a lot of my colouring with these and cross-hatching. Oh, I'm a Bic girl through and through. I like Parker as well. My Parker Jotter for writing is my favourite ballpoint pen for writing. But yeah, you can't beat a general ordinary size Bic crystal. And they're so cheap. If you go into a shop and you buy a Bic crystal, it costs you like £1.20 here, or thereabouts. £1.99 if you go in WH Smith's. If you go on Amazon, you can buy like a box of 50 for a £5. I bought a massive box because I go through these at a rate of knots. These regular ones. These I buy as and when I need them. These I buy 50 at a time because I'll whiz through them. I've got a graveyard of, look, oh, that one's nearly empty, look. I'll have to finish that one now, so I'll put that in there. And then when I next need to do something, I'll use that one. These are all new ones. I'll use that one and then I'll have another one for my graveyard. Bic used to do a thing where if you saved up 10 pens and you sent them back to Bic, they sent you one free. And I think they should still do that. I might actually see if they still do it. Just email them and say, look, I've got like 35 empty pens. Can you send me 3 back? I'm sure they would. You know about the different nib sizes. I never liked Bic pens because they wrote too big. Yeah, you might find that you were using a 1.6. These are super fine. These are like a 0.38, 0.4 sort of size. Oops. So that's the orange. That's the regular. I used to use the orange when I used to write really tiny. I always used to use the orange ones because these were too big for me because I used to write super tiny. But I've taught myself to rewrite properly with big writing, grown-up writing. Well, I do it because my shoulder aches if I write too small. I was cramping up. So where's my black one? My thick. Did I put it away? Oh, here it is. So this is the 1.6. This one writes like an Inkjoy. I don't actually use this for writing at all because it slips and slides all over the place, which is why I don't like Inkjoys, because they slip and slide. I like a pen with a bit of tooth to it. But if you need to colour, it's a much more even line with this. See? Whereas if you use the thinner ones, you get striations. Because this kind of rolls about, you don't get that patchiness that you get with the medium ones. Like, the medium ones are much more... You have to go over it several times to get it even. See, that's not even with this. Whereas that went down even straight away. Can't go wrong with a Bic. It'll write. Anytime anybody says to me, what do you use to write over fill in the blank? My answer is a Bic ballpoint pen. They will write over for anything because they're oil based. And oil based is always your top layer. So there you go. That's it. That's my Caboodle box and my journaling essentials, but my absolute essentials are just my journal and a ballpoint pen. My journal itself, I am a die-hard Moleskine large size person. I've tried other sizes. I'm curious about the B6, but I think it would be too small. I'd get annoyed. I like this size. It's a good size. So, but I don't actually like Moleskine paper. For what I do, it doesn't work. So I buy Collins Debden A5 books and I decase them. Is that the word? I take the hard cover off. I chop the insides in 2 and I make 2 soft cover books out of them. This one is just over halfway through, so you can see it does get quite chunky, but not too chunky to carry about. Just as I get to the point where I'm thinking, oh, this is too chunky and heavy to work in, I get to the end. I've got about another 50 pages left in this one. But Collins Debden is a English school brand, so it's kind of like Mead books, I guess. Whenever large offices have to order data page diaries or bulk notebooks, they either buy Letts or Collins. It's like the office stationery brand of the UK. My pen isn't in here. Where's my pen? Because somebody will ask about that, won't they? Let me grab my pen. Here she is. This is what I write with daily. Since I got it, I've not used anything else. This is a Jinhao 992 in extra fine. Cost me a whopping 84p on Amazon. I've just ordered another couple because I dropped it the other day and I cracked the barrel. It still works, but I've cracked the edge off, and that will probably go eventually. It's got a hooded nib because it's extra fine, and I use platinum carbon ink in it. I never use anything else in my fountain pens, ever. Ever, ever. People have given me lots of different inks over the time, and I always go back to this one. This is the one I use all the time. I am curious to try the Sailor version of the black waterproof ink. I wouldn't mind trying the Sailor one, but you have to kind of get it shipped from Japan, and it's quite expensive, so this is £8 on Amazon. I'm quite happy with this one. And incidentally, I use this to refill my Pentel brush pen. Now, you're not supposed to use this in brush pens or fountain pens, really, unless you're going to rinse them out regularly. But because I use mine all the time, literally all day, every day I'm writing, I'm quite often colouring with my Pentel. I fill it with this, and I've never yet had a problem. Occasionally I've had to rinse the nib under hot water, but I don't have a problem because I use it all the time. But if you're going to like ink your pen and then leave it for a week at a time or more, don't bother. Stick with something like Noodlers, because the carbon will destroy your pen. But I use it all the time. I refill this about once every 3 days, so tells you how much I use it. Any questions? Quick, because it's been an hour. I want to stop. I don't want these things to go on for more than an hour at most. Half an hour if possible. But I talk too much for it to be half an hour. We all know that's not going to happen. Here we have blue, black, red, but no green. You don't have green ones, and we use green for accounting. Green is accounting, black is official paperwork, blue is for handwriting, and red is for teachers. Gotta go. Okay, Mandy, thank you. Bye. See you soon. Number 9 online. Order number 9. What's it? Oh, your brush. Oh, yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it. It's a really good brush. So comfortable to use too. It's weighted really well. The only one I have that doesn't clog is the original Platinum Carbon desk pen. Funnily enough, that's the only one of mine that does clog. I think because it's so tiny. Your blending stump, do you use any product with it? No, just that and pencil. That's why I like the Ticonderoga pencils. I typically do, like, I'll sketch something out, blah blah, and then I'll shade in where I want it, da 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 da, blend it out with this, make it nice and smooth. Da-de-da, da-de-da. Gets rid of the line, but you see it gets rid of the line, and that's what I don't like. So my mechanical pencil is what I use then to put the corners back in. See? Like that. And it's just a sponge one. It's Lowell Cornell style sticks. I got a full set of them in all different sizes. I do use the other sizes for my pastels, my chalk pastels and my pan pastels and my pencil pastels, my Conti pastels. But this one I specifically use for pencil because it's a good size for what I draw. Any tips for starting your first book of light? Yep, come on over to my website, RhomanysRealm.org.uk. That's what we do. Come on over, ask questions, join a class if you want to, but there's also a free forum. And don't do what anybody tells you it should be. Do what you think should be in it, not what anybody else tells you should be in it. If somebody else is telling you in anything pagan related, unless you're Wiccan, okay? Wiccan is a specific religion. They have a specific way of doing things, especially if you're in a coven. That's separate, okay? But if you're just solitary, kind of eclectic, kind of dibble dabble, whatever it is you do, pagan, don't let anybody tell you that you can or can't do anything in a specific way. If it works for you, do it. If it doesn't work for you, ignore it. Go with your intuition. I have a makeup sponge that might work well for that. I never thought. Yeah, makeup sponges don't really work that well. The pan pastel ones do. The little ones that you shove on, like the little shoe on the foot. They work really well with pencil, but you're better off with something a bit softer. The makeup sponges are too hard. Bye, Ina. Thanks for joining us. Oh, I've still got your tapes. I'm going to get them in the post, hopefully this week. You're a member over there. Excellent. Oh, Burgess, of course you are. Loving the live videos. Thank you very much. I'm enjoying doing this, actually. I might actually make it to the 24th. Next up, I'm going to talk about bullet journaling, because that's a big thing at the moment, isn't it? And I'm a bullet journaler. I've been a bullet journaler for a long time. And I'm not a pretty bullet journaler. I'm just a bullet journaler. So I thought tomorrow I might chat a little bit about Ryder's book and what I've thought of it and how I've been getting on with it and such, because I love it. Spoiler. And then maybe the following day show you how I'm bullet journaling and how what I've learned from his book is affecting what I do and changing what I do and improving what I do, actually, because there's bits and pieces that I didn't do right. Well, it's not about doing it right, but there's bits that I thought I understood what bullet journaling was. I did understand the system and how it worked. I understood the mechanics. What I didn't appreciate is how nice it is to drive with the top down. if you get my drift. You know, I didn't appreciate the nuances behind it and his thoughts on how it works and why it works and how it all works together. I missed all that. So the book has been very eye-opening. So that's what I'll chat to you about tomorrow. So if you're interested, come and join me again. I don't know what time it will be, but it'll probably be earlier than today. And I've also got a bullet journal thread over on my forum. So if you want to chat about bullet journaling, pop on over. Yeah, that's it. I've got nothing else for you today. I followed a workshop about it, but I didn't learn anything. She had a lot of coloured pencils and stamps. I'm not a pretty planner. I've never been a pretty planner. If I'm going to put that amount of effort into something, I'm going to put it in my journal. But I'll talk about that when I talk about my bullet journal and how reading his book has helped me change how I journal and how I plan to something that works better for me. But yeah, I'm not a pretty planner. I never have been. There's nothing wrong with pretty planning, okay? If you like pretty planning and that's your jam, go for it. You know, there's nothing wrong with scrapbooking either. But personally, I'd rather stick my photos in my journal. You know? Project Life, I'll stick my photos in my journal. I'll stick my journal cards in my journal. Sometimes I'll stick the little plastic bits in my journal as well. Yeah, I don't, it's distracting to have pretty planning. I do like visual stuff. I like my planner stickers. I love my planner stickers. But yeah, I find making it look pretty and aesthetically pleasing and writing beautifully detracts from actually getting stuff done for me. And if I'm going to invest that amount of time in it, then I would rather be in my journal, journaling. I think the pretty side of bullet journaling is more for people who perhaps don't have a creative outlet or want to create a creative outlet. Like in the book, he talks about a girl who really wanted to find time to practice her calligraphy but never got around to it, and she integrated practicing her calligraphy with her bullet journal practice. That makes total sense. Absolutely, that makes sense. But it's not for me because I like doing my illustrations in my journal. Okay, that's it. Go away. See you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me, guys. Vlogmas Day 3! 3 days in a row. 1, 2, 3. Will she make it? Will she make it? 21 days to go. Do I win something if I get to 24 for a change? Don't know. Anyway. Thanks for joining me. See you again tomorrow. Bye.